CloudOffix HR Cloud is key to supporting your internal teams. In this demo, we'll follow the complete employee journey, starting from recruitment and continuing all the way to performance and growth. Recruitment can start with HR or a department request. Andrew Taylor, a marketing specialist, submits a request for an SEO specialist. This is done by the Employees app by selecting Employee Request under the Employees menu. Andrew clicks the New button to begin the request. He enters the job position, selects the department, sets a deadline, and writes a job description. Once the form is completed, he saves it. Then he starts the employee request process by clicking Start Request button, and it moves on to the approval stage for manager approval. Marketing manager Sarah gets a notification for the request, and she opens the link. Once she approves, it moves on to the HR manager for final approval. HR manager Betty receives the notification. She clicks the link, which takes her to the request. She approves it. Once approved, the recruitment process begins within the recruitment module. The job posting is then marked as published on the company website, and the finalized job description is made visible to potential candidates. This marks the first public step in the hiring journey. Jane Fonda decides to review some job postings on the website, hoping to find one suitable to apply. She comes across something that takes her interest. She decides that the SEO specialist position posted on the website suits her just right, so she fills out the application information. She also uploads her CV. Now the application is ready to submit. Before reviewing the application details, to be able to schedule the initial interview, a meeting type is created by the HR manager, Betty. This meeting type includes two recruitment officers, John Minto and Michael Martin. Betty selects the duration of the meeting and suitable working hours. Then she saves the created meeting type. Betty then moves on to the recruitment application to assign the newly created meeting type to the HR interview stage. This stage, the first interview stage. Once applicants reach this stage, they are automatically sent a booking interview email. Upon examining Jane's application, Betty moves it to the HR interview stage by drag and drop on the Kanban. This automatically sends an email to our applicant. Jane Fonda, who had applied for the SEO specialist position, receives a booking email and clicks the link to view the HR interviewer's calendar with available time slots. She selects a convenient time without any email back and forth and fills the rest of her details. Once confirmed, a meeting invite with the online link is automatically sent to both Jane and the recruitment specialist. Returning to the recruitment records chatter, you'll see the first task listed is the meeting with Jane Fonda. This meeting is also visible within the related job application record, providing a clear and connected view of her candidate interview interactions. Following a successful first interview, the applicant is sent an online quiz to assess competency related to the position. Let's send the quiz to Jane. Although this quiz is being sent manually, another option is sending it by automating through stages. Jane receives the email asking her to complete the quiz and clicks the link, which takes her to the quiz. She needs to accept the request to take pictures of her screen as she completes the quiz, ensuring that it is Jane completing the quiz alone. She carefully reads through each question in the quiz, which is designed to assess her competence for the role. With full focus, she works through the questions one by one, providing thoughtful answers. Once she's finished, she submits it, and on the thank you page, she chooses to review her answers. While she can't make changes, it gives her a sense of how she scored. Returning to Betty's screen, who views the answers on the application record and the screenshots taken randomly during the quiz participation. Jane, who achieved a high score without any external assistance, qualifies for hiring and moves to the hired stage. At this stage, the employee card is created and the employee card screen opens up directly. Betty can complete the necessary details for Jane. She assigns the manager for Jane and selects the related user. Just like that, the recruitment process is done. Jane Fonda is now officially an employee of the company. Therefore, legally acquired leave entitlements need to be allocated. The HR manager moves on to allocate Jane's annual paid leave rights via the leaves application. Betty selects the employee this allocation is intended for. She enters a description and allocates the entitled number of leave days. Since she is also the HR manager, she can approve the allocated leaves for Jane. Betty then makes her way to the Assets app. She now needs to assign a laptop for Jane to use for the duration of her employment. She finds an unassigned asset from the list to assign. She assigns the laptop to Jane Fonda. She also requests an asset handover form to print so both parties to sign for acknowledgement and keep for the records. She writes the description as well, and everything is ready. Jane Fonda begins her first day at the company by logging into the CloudOffix system. She navigates to the employee's app to open her employee card, where she can manage various requests. Although she has already received her laptop, she realizes she also needs a mouse to work more comfortably. To request it, she clicks the Asset Request button on her profile. A form pops up and she fills in the request date and description. Once everything is completed, she submits the form with a single click. Betty receives the notification and approves the Jane's asset request. She begins creating the asset allocation form, entering the product name, checking the box to print a handover form, and adding a description. With everything filled in, Betty is confident that everything is in place. She clicks the Assign to Employee button to officially assign the assets to the new hire. This action completes the setup process and triggers the system to generate the asset handover form, which compiles all relevant details. Jane can see the assigned product in her employee record and submit an incident request if needed. With everything ready, Jane can begin orientation. First, let's see how Betty sets up e-learning. Betty logs into the e-learning application and navigates to the orientation course. She begins the process of adding content by uploading various materials. She uploads the course content in various file formats to ensure a comprehensive and engaging learning experience. This includes an orientation video that introduces new employees to the company's culture, values, and mission. She also adds a detailed company policy document that outlines the essential rules, procedures, and expectations for workplace behavior. In addition, she uploads Employee Handbook PDF, which provide thorough information about employee benefits, responsibilities, and company resources. To give learners a clear understanding of the organizational structure, she includes the latest organization chart, helping them visualize team hierarchies and key roles within the company. After ensuring the display and access rights such as visibility and enroll policy are correct, Betty publishes the course. Jane can now see the relevant orientation course on the company's website and sequentially review its contents. Jane navigates to the website. She clicks Courses from the menu, selects Orientation, and joins the course. She progresses through the course by watching the videos and reading the documents. As she does so, the progress bar on the left of the screen shows how much of the course she has completed. She makes her way through the course until she reaches 100%. Once she completes it, she returns to the courses page, where she can see ticks beside the content she has completed, and the time it took to complete the course is shown on the left. The HR staff can see Jane's course completion details in the Finish Stat button within the e-learning course. The main objective is to ensure that employees adapt to the company and the team. The orientation course is the first stage of onboarding. During the orientation period, Jane works closely with the marketing team. Now it's time for the HR department to create and initiate an appraisal involving the marketing department to determine suitability for continued employment. And from the 360-degree appraisal app, an appraisal plan is created. A survey is selected for the appraisal, which focus only on questions related to her skills. Participants in the survey include new employee Jane, her manager Sarah, and her teammate Andrew. While Jane's self-assessment carries the least weight, her manager's responses have a 60% impact. After going through the appraisal settings and questions once again, the evaluation process is started. To fully start the appraisal, we follow the Stat button, which will take us to the sequences of necessary approvals. So we are actually starting the appraisal plan and the appraisal survey within the plan. Once initiated, Tom, Jane, and Sarah receive an invitation to the survey to complete it. Sarah gets the notification in CloudOffix that she needs to complete the survey for Jane before the deadline. She clicks the link in the message, and this takes her to the appraisal survey page where she can answer the questions regarding Jane's skills. She clicks the Start Survey button to open the survey. Sarah begins to carefully read and answer each question, providing thoughtful feedback on Jane's skills, performance, and overall contribution to the team. She quickly reviews her answers before submitting, and once she finishes, she clicks the Submit button. HR personnel view from the 360-degree appraisal application that Sarah has completed the survey, giving Jane a score of 55.2 out of 60. After evaluations by the remaining participants and achieving the required score, Jane successfully completes her orientation process. Having worked as an SEO specialist for a while, Jane plans a short trip to visit her family in another city. Since the visit is scheduled for midweek, she needs to request time off. Instead of filling out a written leave form for approval by her manager, she creates a request via CloudOffix Leaves app. Once the manager approves, Jane receives a notification confirming the approval. As a result, 2 days are deducted from Jane's allocated leave entitlement. While the Leaves app manages leave for personal travel, for business travels, it is tracked through the Travel Management app. For example, Jane will attend the Digital Marketing Summit event happening at Illinois from August 3rd to August 7th. She initiates the record for this trip and enters the necessary details, such as dates, destinations, and transportation type. She clicks into the Transportation Stat button where she can attach the plane tickets for her trip. Then she clicks the Accommodation Stat button to enter accommodation reservation request. She also attaches the hotel reservation that she made for her trip. Once the planning is carefully completed, it is submitted for manager approval. Sarah Parker will be notified of the submission, and she can either approve or refuse the trip and any of its components. During the business trip, Jane incurred several meal expenses. To receive reimbursement for these expenses, she needs to upload the receipts to the system. So she uploads her receipts for her expenses. She can do this via CloudOffix or automatically create a record by sending an email to the expense alias. After the verification process is complete, the recorded expenses must be accurately linked to the corresponding business trip to ensure everything is proper. To do this, Jane selects the relevant receipts from the list and uses the Action button to attach them to the correct business trip. Once all the receipts are successfully attached to the trip, Jane uses the Action button again to submit the report. The expenses can be seen and reviewed one final time before sending it to the manager for approval. After completing everything, she submits the report for her manager's approval. With CloudOffix, Jane handled everything quickly and with ease. The approving authority compares each expense line with the relevant receipt to ensure accuracy and approves expense reimbursements. Once approved, Jane instantly receives a notification. She clicks on the link, which takes her to the screen. She sees that the expenses have been approved. With the trip completed and all payments made, the travel record is marked as done. As her manager, and after working with Jane for some time, Sarah decides to include her in the company's goals for the new quarter. Jane is now a 3-month employee, and the next quarter is coming up. In the upcoming quarter, she'll begin tracking her responsibilities using the OKR application. In the third quarter, Sarah thinks that Jane should also undertake SEO activities for the Boost Lead Generation objective, which is one of the biggest goals of the marketing department. For this, she adds the key result, increasing website traffic by 30%, to the relevant objective and assigns it to Jane. Jane navigates to the OKR application and clicks into the Key Results section. She selects the objective she's been working on and begins updating it with the latest progress. She updates the values and adds notes highlighting her contributions and learnings, including a website traffic increase from 7% to 25% thanks to her consistent efforts. Then she continues to updating her second key result. This move increased traffic by 15% and bringing total traffic growth to 40%, exceeding the threshold to achieve the key result. This milestone officially marks the completion of the objective. And just like that, Jane transforms from a new applicant into a top-performing employee. In this scenario, we've seen how CloudOffix gives HR teams and employees the tools they need to thrive. It brings every step of the employee lifecycle into one platform, making it easier for HR teams to manage and employees to engage.